I pray you guide my way. And lead me not into temptation. Please deliver me, Yahweh. Ooh, yeah. Let me be strong in your word. Let your truth be heard. But you're my strength and my shield. The sound of your voice makes the universe yield. Oh, yeah. I said Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah, yeah. Wherever you lead me, Father, I will follow. Let my roots grow deep, deep, ooh, and not shallow. Yeah. Yahweh is here. Oh, Israel, have no fear. Don't you know that summer is nigh? And he said, on eagle wings we'll fly. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yeah. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yahweh's here to lead his children home, and that's glory.
The Nation of Yahweh presents The Unfolding Light. Today's show is brought to you by Builders of the Highway Foundation, Yahweh Life Center, Neo Jazz School of Music, Yahweh Education Centers, and the Temple of Brothers and Sisters of Goodwill. And now for your host, Dr. Lud Yisrael.
Boker Tov and Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to another edition of the Unfolding Light. Praise Yahweh. Wow, what a great day it is to know Yahweh. And what a great day it is to be in the midst of his works. Just like my co-host, Sister Tamar, Boker Tov, Sister.
Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Well, praise Yahweh. Today on Unfolding Light, we'll have Who is Yahweh by the Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Directly after that, we'll have a keynote message from the Master Teacher, the founder of the Nation of Yahweh. And directly after that, we'll have the part where we all take part in Unfolding the Light, and we call it Power Talk. And now for our prayer. If we will all stand and face the east with outstretched hands, O Yahweh, God of our salvation, save us, gather us together, and deliver us from this heathen, so that we may give thanks to thy holy name and glory in thy praises. Blessed be the holy name of Yahweh and Yisrael forever. O Yahweh, let them be confounded that persecute us, but let not us be confounded. Let our enemies be dismayed, but let not us be dismayed. Bring upon our enemies the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. O Yahweh, forgive our fathers for breaking your laws, and please forgive us for breaking your laws. Help us to never bring shame upon thy great name, nor reproach against thy works. For surely we have turned ourselves to thee, O Yahweh, trying to be upright. And as we confess our faults, please grant us protection against all of our faults. Cleanse us of our secret faults, and guide us to the best of morals. For surely our prayers and our sacrifices, our lives and our deaths, are all for thee, O Yahweh. Tefillah. Avenu Shabashamayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuteraka, Yad Zerizonka, Kim Vashamayim came by Aretz, Et Lekum Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh.
Remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
Praise Yahweh. So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is a name that you should know, because it's the duty of the Son of God to proclaim his Father's name. And here you have a whole bunch of people going to church, 400,000 churches, and they don't know the name of the Father. They say such silly things like, Father, God, help me. Both of them titles. Father is a title, God is a title. Who's going to answer to that? The purpose of the coming of the Son is to reveal the name of the Father. That's who he prayed to, our Father, and he called his name. He said, hallowed be, holy be thy name. How can it be holy to you and you don't know it? Interesting, isn't it? There are a lot more interesting questions than that about that situation. But when you begin to read your Bible, as I call this to your attention, you will discover from the Old Testament of Genesis all the way through Revelations, it's all about the name of the Father. It's all about his name. But somebody got you calling some other kind of name, other than the Father's name. And you don't know his name. And unless you learn his name, then you're never going to move from poverty to riches. And if you don't come into the knowledge of the name. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that you have the same God, have the same churches, and the same names that white people have? I mean, have you noticed? You do. Our people have the same, right? Isn't it strange how God always answers white people's prayers? Black folk prayers don't seem to be the same magnitude. You know, you say, well, I get my prayers answered. Well, why don't you ever get answered to be the ruler? I mean, you know, my people are always on their knees in front of white people asking white people to let them be accepted. Why do you need to ask white people for acceptance? Why don't you just ask God? Doesn't your God have enough power to make you accepted? Why can't you be the people that everybody else wants to be among? Why are you always running after somebody else to be among them? What's wrong with your God? Why do you have to go around always on your knees with your hat in your hand begging for a job from white people? Why don't your God just give you some jobs? Oh, I have to ask you some serious questions because white people move from poverty to riches every day. Huh? They come from Russia. They come from Europe. They come from England. They come from all over the world with nothing on the ship. Come and get in your neighborhood. Come with a buggy and a basket and a wagon and push it around in your neighborhood and move from poverty to riches out of your pocket. You live in the neighborhood and stay poor and just pray all the time. You prayed enough to rule all the world. So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is the God of the Bible. He's the God of the Hebrews. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. Yahweh is the man that beat up on Pharaoh. Y'all remember how he put plagues in Egypt? That was Yahweh did that. Yahweh is the one that when Pharaoh got real sassy, he drowned him in the Red Sea. That's Yahweh who did it. Yahweh is the man that when Daniel refused to bow down to another nation and quit facing the east and praying, when he refused to stop praying to his God, which was Yahweh, they said, well, we're going to put you in the lion's den and starve them. Threw him in the lion's den. Yahweh locked the jaws of the lion. Lions could do him no harm. Rulers got scared. Came and got Daniel out and made him a ruler. Right? I just want you to know who Yahweh is. He made the sun, the moon, the stars, all what you see and haven't seen. Okay. So who is Yahweh ben Yahweh? I am his son. I am his son. That's who I am. I am the son of Yahweh. I don't care who else is the son or who else they are. It makes me no difference. I'm not here tonight concerning myself with who is the son of who. I'm the son of Yahweh. I have to tell you who I am. Yahweh is my father. I am his son. What makes me his son? What makes me Yahweh's son is I do not have a will outside of his. I have no thoughts, no ideas, and no program outside of Yahweh. You'll find that all that I ever do, all that I've ever done, and all that I'm ever going to do is found right in the Bible, and it's traced right to his will. No exception. I take no credit for all that I have built. It's all in his name. Yahweh. That's one of the things that make me his son. Also, I have no difference in his word. I only speak his words. Even the words I've spoken to you thus far, the principles of those words are all in the Bible. Every single one of them is found in the Bible. No exceptions. So I walk as he says walk. I talk as he says talk. I act as he says act. I do whatever he says do. I have no idea of doing it any other way. Those are the things that makes me his son. I obey his laws, his statutes, his judgments, his commandments. That's why I'm successful. He said in his holy word that if I obey his laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments, that he would make everything, all the works of my hand would prosper. So all the works of my hands, it's prospering. I'm telling you why. Now, what about you? You might say, well, if you're the son of Yahweh, can I be? Of course you can. Of course you can be the sons of Yahweh. Every one of you can be. Every one of you can be the daughters of Yahweh. All you have to do is like I do. Obey his will, just like I do. You automatically become. You believe on his name, then you have eternal life. There's no other name under heaven that you can be saved in other than God who created it. You can't be saved in no name but the name of the one who created everything. And he gave his son a name higher than all the angels in heaven. What's the name higher than all the names that the angels could possibly have? The Father's name. There can be no name higher than the Creator's. So the Son has to come in his Father's name. Just like if your name is Davis, then your father was named Davis. If your name is Smith, your father's name was Smith. My name is Yahweh, so my father's name is Yahweh. That's logical.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise. Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. I certainly like to thank the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh for coming to us and teaching us who is Yahweh as no one else ever could do. Praise Yahweh. Also, I want to thank the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh for teaching us our true history, which used to be the world's best kept secret. Praise Yahweh. And now a brief bio on the master teacher, the founder of the nation of Yahweh, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Yahweh Ben Yahweh came to Miami, Florida alone in 1979 to become the spiritual leader and founder of the nation of Yahweh. Although he took a vow of poverty that same year, within 7 years, he guided the nation and those who followed his teachings and principles to amass an economic empire in the greater Miami area and throughout the United States worth over $250 million. Under his direction, the nation of Yahweh has grown to encompass disciples, followers, believers, and supporters in thousands of cities across the United States of America and indeed throughout the four corners of the earth. The University of Yahweh, for which he has established the curriculum and for which he has received great acclaim in educational excellence, currently has locations across the United States. The moral teachings of Yahweh Ben Yahweh is bringing about a change in the lives of individuals and causing them to take a different approach to life. This approach is based on the scripture which reads, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." Yahweh Ben Yahweh continues to give. That which he is given cannot be measured in monetary wealth. Yahweh Ben Yahweh is giving the world the keys to success in life politically, educationally, economically, socially, and spiritually. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, the architect of the universe, the blessed and only potentate, the founder of the nation of Yahweh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
I'm building my kingdom with you who voluntarily receive me. Behold, I stand at your door and I knock. Some of you are sitting back in there, got your door all locked up, hollering out, "Who is it?" I don't mind telling you, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And I'm calling out and saying, there's a terrible storm, it's a severe storm headed your way. And it's called the fall of Satan. And this is the time of Jacob's trouble. Welcome to international headquarters for the tribe of Judah, the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, the nation of Yahweh. The chosen people of Yahweh who are chosen to rule the earth forever. Welcome, welcome, where you will hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What is the duty of Yahweh's followers? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let's find out what the whole duty of man is. What is the duty of the followers of Yahweh? In order to be a follower of Yahweh, you have a duty. You must exercise that duty. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13, read.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
That's it. That's the bottom line. Why do we have problems on the earth? Why do we have problems in America? Man is not taught his duty. And if man is not taught his whole duty, then he's in trouble with the one who rules in the affairs of men, Yahweh himself. When man is not taught his duty, how can he keep it? There must be a reason why Yahweh gave us a duty. And I think we should look up the word duty. While we're looking up the word duty, we ask another question: who are the followers of Yahweh? They are the ones who keep that duty. Fear Yahweh, keeping his commandments. We've never been taught more than 10 commandments. We more or less learn how to say them, many of us, but we were not really taught and trained in the 10 commandments as our duty. Read duty.
Duty, an act or a course of action that is exacted of one by position, social custom, law, or religion. Moral obligation.
Wait, look at that word. Morality is something that is hidden from us. By us not being taught this scripture, we have been ignorant to our duty. We've been ignorant to that which has been exacted upon us by our Father and Creator, Yahweh himself. And we're totally without the knowledge of moral obligation. Yes, duty.
Duty, the compulsion felt to meet such obligation.
When it comes to the duties of Yahweh, we should have a compulsion. Not to turn 3 times and sit down and get up and cross a leg, and then sit down 2 times and get up and cross a leg, and then turn around backwards and spit on the floor and then turn around and sit down. See, those are people who have compulsions, but they're in mental institutions. But then a compulsion is something that you know you must do as habit. That it's like eating or drinking water or going to the bathroom or some of the other things that you don't feel you can get along without. I know you have a vivid imagination and you can come up with some things that you don't think you can do without. Compulsion. Yes.
Duty, a service assigned or demanded of one, especially in the armed forces.
Now, if man in his military can demand certain behavior, then what do we think we owe the Creator of all things, who gave us life? The military did not give us life, but they put us in a position to demand our life, and that if we don't obey their will, that they will take our life by shooting you in the back of the head if you don't obey their orders. Now, if man can exact that upon you, how much more do we owe the Creator? Man in his military didn't create food for you to eat, or water for you to drink, or air for you to breathe. And yet, he can compel you to give up your life. What do we owe the creator, the giver of our lives, and all that is required to sustain our life. Notice the creator has provided all we need to sustain ourselves. Your enemy tells you that you evolved from a monkey, but he puts you in his army to take your life. And that if you don't join his army, he'll put you in jail. He'll tell you, sign these papers, and if you sign the papers, they say you volunteered, and that's a lie. You're not. If you don't volunteer, you're going to jail. That sounds like compulsion to me, compulsory requirements. So those who rule over you are compelling you, requiring you to do things as they want you to, under fear and threats and duress. But your creator leaves it up to you to choose or reject. Not without penalties. In the end, there's a penalty. There's a reward if you obey, and a reward if you do not. It's entirely up to you. Duty.
Duty. Function. Work.
Work. Some of our people have never worked. Some that have reached age 20 have never seen a job. They stand on corners. They run up to cars, but they don't work. And will tell you they're not looking for a job. They make it off of those who are working on a job. Duty.
Duty. A tax charged by a government, especially on imports.
Now, men take your money. You go to work and without your permission, he takes your money. Before you get your check, he takes what he wants. And he uses your money without paying you interest. And then makes you feel grateful after a year of using your money for free without paying you interest. You become grateful to get some of it back. In fact, you celebrate him giving you a little piece of it back with no interest. You have been robbed. What do you get in return? Oppression, destruction. What do you get in return? Poverty, misery, suffering. What do you get in return? Tears, worry, death. What do you get in return? Sickness and great dis-ease. We get no benefits from man's taxes. You are taxed on everything. When you buy gasoline at the pump, you don't get the value of what you paid in gasoline in your tank. No. See, some of what went in your tank was subtracted with taxes. Oh, you thought you got $1 worth. You didn't get no $1 worth. Man, if you got $1 worth, the tank might be full. $70, 80 cents of that is tax. At least 80 cents. On every gallon is tax. So you didn't get no gas for that 80 cents. You only got 20 cents worth of gas in your tank. Yahweh only asked for the 10th. And an offering. And out of all that Yahweh, the little tiny amount that Yahweh asked, he has to ask us a question. Will a man rob Yahweh? And nobody would answer. So he answered the question himself. Say, yes. Oh, y'all think I know it. Let's go Malachi. See, some people think I'm sitting up making this up because I make it funny. You must be kidding. No, I am not kidding. It's a very serious question. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore you, black people of America, are the sons of Jacob, and that's why you are not consumed. But from the days of your fathers you have gone away from my laws, you have not kept them. That's why you're catching hell. If you want to stop catching hell, see, it says all that right there. See, you have to learn how to read, son. See, it does say all of that, see? You need some better glasses if you can't see it. See, that's why you are catching hell, because you have not kept them. If you want to stop catching hell, return unto me. And I will return unto you and take hell away from you and give you heaven. See it? Said Yahweh ben Yahweh. And you saying, well, Yahweh, how can I return? So return, I got to ask you a question. Will you rob Yahweh? See, you won't see, notice how solid it is. So since you won't answer, yes, you have robbed me. Now you're talking to yourself again under your breath, but you're talking about, well, have I robbed you? Well, I'm not bashful, I tell you, in tithes and offerings. Well, what will that do if I don't pay it? You curse with a curse, that's what. Double curse. Why? Because you robbed me. Even this whole nation. You want to be blessed? You want to be made rich? You want to be successful? You want to be whole? You want to be self-sufficient and independent? Then bring you all my tithes into my storehouse, that I may have meat in my house as the Creator. And then take what you have and prove me right now with it. Prove me, test me, test me. You've been giving all you have to other people and you get nothing but hell. You've been given to organizations, you've been given to preachers, you've been given to all kinds of causes, but you're not benefiting in it. Now that you've tried everybody, test me. You give me a penny, I'll buy a hotel. Can you imagine what will happen if you give me a quarter? I've done this without you giving me anything. Can you imagine what I'm going to do when you wake up and start giving? Test me, try me. See, those that have tested me find I open the windows of heaven for them. And I'm pouring them out blessings. They don't have room enough to take care of it all. the good shepherd. See, I'm not getting any government grants. And then put my girlfriends in certain positions of this administrative money. See, I don't have an entourage of girlfriends that I put in place to get this government money as administrators. And then have my mother and father, sisters and brothers and cousins and aunts and nephews, cronyism, without the help of philanthropy. No grants. I'm producing heaven in the ghetto with the few that test me. I'm proving to them I do have the keys to the windows of heaven. There's no need for any man to be jealous of me. There is no need for that. There's no need for a man to envy me. And if you think you are as great as I am or greater than I am, produce your works. Show yourself by what you do. Manifest yourself. See, you need a God greater than Yahweh to be behind you. I know that. You definitely do. And since I know there is no such fella, you just as well join the winner. I'm the winner. I'm with the man that created everything, Yahweh. That makes me the winner. Praise Yahweh. And can't you see I'm a happy man? See, I'm happy. I'm free. Free at last. Free at last. Thank Yahweh Almighty. I'm free at last. I have overcome. If you thought you had overcome, you passed out from it. But I have overcome all the temptation of Satan, the wicked one. And I'm establishing a moral and righteous duty. Isn't that something? A moral requirement to obey the laws, the statutes, and the judgments of Yahweh. Why haven't we known about Yahweh? Because his name was hidden from us. Isaiah 45:5. Yahweh is the one that has taken care of us, though we have not known him. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. Your problem is you have not known me. In verse 6, I'm here so that you may know from the rising of the sun in the east, and all of you that have come back to walk in the west in search of the light that you went to the east looking for. You found out when you got to the east, he wasn't there. Because he would be raised from the west. So you had to come back to the west. And then when you went to the east and come back to the west and found out there's none beside me. I am Yahweh and there's none else. I'm the one that formed the light. I'm dichotomous because I also create darkness. I make peace And then I demonstrate I'm dichotomous again and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. I love doing it. I love to create, make peace, and then turn around and create evil. I like all that kind of carrying on. I get a pleasure from that. I get a pleasure from seeing the sun rise and shine and cast away darkness, and I get a pleasure from seeing it get dark, so I can show I have power over darkness again. I get pleasure out of killing, and I get a great pleasure when I make you alive after I kill you. See, only God can do that. Kill you, then turn around and make you alive. Deuteronomy 32, 39. Not making up any of this. You just didn't know it. So you have to learn about Yahweh. Deuteronomy 32, 39. See, now, not after a while, that I, even I, am He. And there's no God with me. I'm the one. I kill and I make alive. I wound just to show you that I can heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand when I put you in my hand or grab hold to you. Can't nobody deliver you. Ask these folk. See, when the black tornado grab hold to you, ain't nobody deliver you. Oh, glory. Why haven't you known Yahweh? You've been destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. That's the problem. You need the knowledge of Yahweh to be saved. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I will also forget thy children.
Read that again.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I will also forget thy children.
In America, it is apparent that we have been forgotten. We were forgotten because we rejected our fathers, rejected Yahweh. When we were in North Africa, our fathers rejected Yahweh. Our punishment for that rejection, carried out through many generations as He promised, we ended up captured, brought to America, and killed. See, it's not so important that a few people were killed physically. It's the fact that we were killed spiritually. We were killed mentally, made and caused and forced to forget the name Israel, forget our nationality, forget our history, forget our culture, forget our language, forget our names, and forget, most importantly, the name of our Creator, Yahweh Himself. And that made us a subject people. So the worst form of robbery ever in the history of the earth took place on the so-called black man of America. Even Pharaoh of Egypt did not do that to us. We knew we were Hebrews, though we had forgotten then the name of our Creator Yahweh. We had forgotten the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but we knew we were Hebrews. We knew that. We knew we were not Egyptians. though we were the same color and had the same hair texture as the Egyptians, but we knew we were not Egyptians. But in America, we don't look like our captors and slave masters or their children. We don't look like them at all. But our minds have been so destroyed by the enemy that we today spend fortunes trying to look like the slave master. You have created parlors for perverted beauty. You have to be a pervert to want to change yourself from the way God made you. Something happened to your mind. You need to be recalibrated. You're out of balance. We need to be retuned. Our pistons are not knocking right. We need new spark plugs. We need a new generator. We need turbochargers in the brain. We need fuel injectors into our minds, straight into our mind. Truth injections. Need a truth serum. Destroy. How do we catch up in America? We destroy for the lack of knowledge.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise. Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. Whew. What a message. What a powerful message. My children are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Wow. We've been spiritually destroyed. And we've been spiritually resurrected. This was a powerful message. And we have a lot to talk about with the Power Talk. But before we do, a word from our sponsors. Shalom Aleichem, family. This YouTube channel needs your help. As you know, good works in this world will never be monetized. So I'm asking that the supporters, followers, true believers, and disciples of Yahweh to help this channel to continue to publish the good works and the fame of the Most High, Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. How much do you love Yahweh? Put your money where your heart is and be blessed. And now, your video. Rescuing our future since 2004. From beginner to advanced. From melodies to mastery. From practice to performance. Neo Jazz School of Music, creating space for young people to express and to grow. Now with 2 locations, New Orleans and Miami. Enroll today at neojazz.org.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zodi toothpaste. Zodi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zodi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zodi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com. To enjoy perfect rest. To enjoy perfect sleep. To enjoy perfect peace. Primordial vibration. Subscribe today.
Praises unto Yahweh, and Yahweh be Yahweh. From the nation of Yahweh.
YahwehRadio.com. YahwehRadio.com.
Step on into
YahwehRadio.com.
Let nobody turn me away from Yahweh.
YahwehRadio.com.
Yahweh ben Yahweh is a great God and a great King above
YahwehRadio.com.
Yahweh Virtual University has completed its beta phase. We are so thankful to Yahweh for all of our supporters because we could not have done it without you. We are excited to say that our beta phase was a true success. Those that participated in our beta testing enjoyed self-paced and interactive learning online, live online classes with our YVU teachers, assistance with structuring and setting up their homeschool. Our students had so much fun learning with their classmates, and they enjoyed daily homework and so much more. During our beta phase, we gathered useful information and feedback from all of you. According to the needs of our children and our nation as a whole, we received a large amount of requests for online learning to support children between the ages of 8 and 15, as well as online classes for parents and adults. We at Yahweh Virtual University heard you loud and clear. In order to provide these much needed requests, and because we are a small team, we have paused our online classes for now and are back in our building phase. Again, we are truly thankful to all of our supporters, and we want you to know that we are taking this duty to rescue our future very seriously. Please visit our website for more updates and be blessed. Praise Yahweh forever.
Praise Yahweh. There's a lot going on today in the nation of Yahweh. There's a lot of Yahweh's children that are standing up and doing their duty, keeping their duty, and working for Yahweh, building for Yahweh, showing forth the praises of the one who brought us out of darkness, Yahweh ben Yahweh. In our works, not in our mouths, not in our just talking about it. Got to be about it. And what you saw here, those commercials is about being about the building of the nation of Yahweh. You know, Yahweh ben Yahweh started out this message with talking about our duty. Our duty to fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. Then he talked about how we really never was taught the 10 commandments. And, you know, we know there's 613 law, statute, judgments, and commandments. That is our duty. All of it is our duty, not just the 10 commandments, but we hadn't even been taught the 10 commandments. And that's very deep, because we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We'll get a commandment like, you know, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. And we'll forget all about that part. And we'll say 6 days you should work and 1 day you should rest. And you know, we start getting fixated on the carnal implications of a day of rest. And we turn that day of rest into anything we want to manifest, like football all day. And I ain't doing nothing. I'm laying around. That's what the law tells me to do. When you forgot the first word is remember. And in order to remember, you have to study. In order to be righteous and to be right, you have to study to show yourself approved. So it's not just a day of resting your body from working for others. It's about remembering the law. So when we talk about remembering the law and the fact that we are destroyed and spiritually dead by design by our slave makers and slave masters that made us into a servitude subservient mindset by design. And now all of our energy and all of our funding goes to perpetuate that. It just simply goes to perpetuate that. He talked about how the government just takes taxes. They just take your money and you don't benefit from that money at all. And we see today, this very day, tax dollars being sent by the billions, not millions, by the billions to fight a war overseas while people are homeless in your own country. We see tax money going over to other wars that's just fake wars of conquest, and billions of your tax dollars going over support this. But you won't support the people who are paying taxes. You won't support the people who built the infrastructure of this country. You won't support the ex-slaves that carved out America and steal off our backs our labor, our energy. You still uphold America. And that energy is our dollar. We give it freely. We fear that if we don't pay him his taxes, he's going to destroy us. We've already been destroyed. Yahweh ben Yahweh said it wasn't about them destroying our bodies and the people who died in slavery. It was about them killing us spiritually, destroying us spiritually. That's what it was all about. We're so destroyed that we spend $1 billion a year trying to look like them. We spend, and we didn't even talk about what they take in taxes. We're talking about what we spend voluntarily a year trying to look like somebody else, trying to deny our particular creation, what we created to look like. And you talk about who's suffering the greatest death without physically being dead. Is that the Walking Dead? But then that's the allegory. You are walking dead by design. We have been destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, knowledge, this is the information age. Knowledge is at your fingertips. And this is the great awakening. But see, when you wake up and hit the snooze button, then you wake up and hit the snooze button, then you wake up and hit the snooze button.
A pattern.
A pattern. And then when you finally do drag yourself out of bed, you feel like you haven't had enough sleep and you're groggy and grumpy all day and you still don't gain no knowledge, you know?
Wow. Yes, Yahweh gave us an incredible message today. I mean, absolutely incredible. And it's what is the duty of Yahweh's followers? You know, he, framed it up so eloquently and gave us a container to wrap around these big ideas,
Yes,
because
he did.
it's so huge. And he gave us the scripture, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And so giving us clarity on what duty meant, because we're not even taught like a duty, just like as you shared, Dr. Lou, the many layers of responsibility that's bestowed upon us as citizens in a place that we occupy. It will not bestow, but enforce upon us in the space that we are, where we live. But our reality is we are blessed eternally when we direct those energies. Someone is stealing that energy from us. If we invest that energy into the work of following Yahweh, our whole lives would be different.
Well, if we paid tithes like we paid taxes, there's taxes. The most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh illustrated that there's taxes that you don't even know you're paying. You paying taxes on everything you can think of. And then you're paying taxes on the money that you make off your hard labor, off your, toiling and working hard to exist. He takes taxes off of that. Then every time you spend money, there's taxes. You go buy gas, you think you get $4 worth when you actually got $1.50 worth, and the rest is taxes. And you wonder why all these taxes are flowing out of the country to fight wars and rumors of war and to fund all kinds of stupid programs in other people's country. They even have it to where the illegal immigration at the border wall, that when these people get in, they process them, give them a $2,200 a month check stipend, and then they get food stamps and they get apartments and stuff that the majority of the people, and this is not a black or white issue, it's just the people who live in this country are the last to receive any type of help, whereas you can go start a war anywhere and get trillions of dollars.
Well, and then the point in cases, there's a characteristic of the children of Yahweh, that those of us who need to wake up to the knowledge that we are the children of Yahweh, these sentiments are relatable, and these are experiences that we can recognize. And for us, what we have to really tune into, because Yahweh being Yahweh at the end of this said it's time for us, we need a tune up. We need a whole engine rebuild, basically. But the conclusion of this whole matter, and I want to just talk about that, but the conclusion of the whole whole matter is to fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. That's our duty. Everything else, all these other conditions, are a distraction. And so when we talk about conclusion, this is the final
chapter, is it?
This is the last main division of a discourse. It is usually, and by definition, conclusion usually contains a summing up of points and statements of opinion or decisions reached. So the decision Yahweh reached in our understanding that we have to grapple with or grab hold to is that we must fear Yahweh and keep his commandments.
So
that's our moral obligation.
So why must we fear Yahweh? Well, right now, the reason why you pay taxes is because you fear the devil. You fear the IRS. You fear these organizations that is intimidating you to pay taxes when the supreme law of the land, the Constitution says any government that is not acting in the best interest of the people, you can legally not support it. But see, the thing about it is that fear. You fear Yahweh, you fear the devil more than you fear Yahweh. Yahweh can protect you.
And by no means is no one on this call saying, we're not telling you to pay your taxes. We're making a point about how there is a overlying principle towards being obligated.
It's the fear.
It's the fear.
It's the fear.
And
fear is the opposite of faith. If you have faith in Yahweh, then you begin to put your tithes
in Yahweh
and your offerings. And he mentioned that, can a man rob God? You know, we're being robbed, and sometimes we can't do anything about them robbing us. If they take your money before you get it, you can't do anything about them robbing you. But you can do something with, if you have faith in Yahweh, you could do what you need to do to be blessed above that fray. And that's what Sister Tamara is talking about. We're not saying, oh, I gotta don't take no taxes out of my check. I'm gonna file this and that. I'm doing this. I'm gonna revolt. Now, it may be time to revolt, but that's, we'll know when it's time to try to take all our money and move it to anywhere other than this government. We'll know that because the signs of the time is telling us that, just as the scriptures say about America is falling, America is falling. It's imploding by the people who run it is destroying America. We have nothing to do with the destruction of America. It's the people who running it that is destroying it. With your tax dollars, they're destroying America.
But the conclusion of the whole matter, above all those things, above all those
beyond
all those things, we must fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. This is our whole duty.
That's the duty, the whole duty of man, whether they submit to this duty or not. If you call yourself a human being, a man, mankind, then this is your whole duty. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, not to create a whole set of rules that you enforce on the children of Yahweh, but historically you didn't enforce on everybody else. Well, most of that is gone. There's still a little element of that, but most of that is gone. But
we do want to invite our family in on this riveting conversation. Yahweh Ben Yahweh gave so much information for us to chew on today, and hopefully we'll get a continuation of that light. So if you're on the Zoom, you can either unmute yourself by pressing the mute microphone button or press *6 to unmute yourself.
And by all means, join the conversation. We're talking about the whole duty of man. We're talking about who are the followers. What is the duty of the followers of Yahweh? We're talking about how Yahweh's children are destroyed for lack of knowledge because we reject knowledge. We've been rejected. And as we broke the law in the past, Yahweh fulfilled his promise to put us in slavery. As we keep the law in this day, he promised to open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you don't have room enough to receive. Now he said, try it, prove it, prove it. It's about time. It's now time for proof of your sonship. It ain't time for you to just say it. Time for you to prove it through your works. That's how we are judge of Yahweh. That's why we're judged by Yahweh through your works. We're not judged by our words. You know, like Yahweh ben Yahweh say, am I publishing the name Yahweh? Well, that's the easy way to judge. Absolutely, Yahweh ben Yahweh, you are publishing the name. You publish the name all over. Well, I ask myself, am I publishing the name? Well, I do my very best, but we always can use help. We always need the soldiers, the true disciples, the children of Yahweh, the true believers, the supporters to continue to give. If you don't give, you know, we can't finance our nation individually off of jobs. In other words, we can't do works for Yahweh, financing them by going and getting a job with the devil and working for him 9 to 5. But now if thousands of us pool our resources together, then we can create all types of commerce that we can hire ourselves and we can continue to support. See, that's how economy works. If you look at every other group of people that come to this country, the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Koreans, all of those people, they circulate money in their own community. They build their own community. They come and live together and in the same community, and they open up businesses to serve them in their community. They open up, clinics and different things to serve them in their community. And they make their communities prosperous just by supporting one another. Well, we've been taught not to do that. We've been taught to support every other community but our own. And all I'm saying is that we have a community called the Nation of Yahweh. And if we support that, not only through our tithes and offerings, but the businesses that operate within our nation, the people who have businesses, if we support those businesses can become very strong to support the people of the nation. Just like the BUILT program, we demonstrated collectively that we can do a thing, and we did a thing. And we need to continue to do these things so that we can continue to build the nation of Yahweh, our community.
Yes, sir. Praise Yahweh. And I do just want to remind our family, you are encouraged to join in sooner rather than later into this conversation about being in alignment and following our duty, being in duty to Yahweh. How we go into active duty as a military component. What is the active duty of a steward, a servant of Yahweh? And when you look at the definition of duty from a military standpoint, a service assigned or demanded of ones, especially in the armed forces. Well,
it's a lot of militaries around the world who every person in the country, when they come a certain age, have to do military service. It's mandatory. Yeah, South Africa under the apartheid, it was mandatory for all the white people who came of age. They had to do a 2-year tour of duty, a 2-year service to the military. That's the same way in the country called Israel today. Everybody in the population have to do military service. In America, it's voluntary unless there's a war and then they make it mandatory, they'll draft you. And if you don't do it, you go to jail. And Yahweh ben Yahweh spoke about that today. So if the devil can demand your life to service him in his bogus political wars and conquest and imperialism, what's your duty to Yahweh, the creator
of life?
Wow, that's a question. I'd like an answer for that question. Anybody got an answer for that question? What's your duty to Yahweh, the creator of your life? He can kill and he can make alive. He talked about that today. He can wound and he can heal. Nobody else can kill you. Nobody else can make you alive. We do have a caller.
We do have a caller. Caller with your line on unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Praise Yahweh. Alicia Baaliyah, Los Angeles, California. Still boots on the ground. We on another level now. Praise Yahweh. Got us in rulership. All of this compulsory that they giving us, the self-employed people are taking it back. We getting the money back. They said they'll give us $36,000. They're giving us money to take the immigrants, teach the immigrants. They'll give us $1,500. Do all of these here things. And then on the other end, they're killing us. Praise God. We got to have $20 for ticket. So praise Yahweh. You got to study to be approved. My brothers and sisters, Yahweh already said it in 1979. Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh, Ben Yahweh.
Praise
Yahweh. Good to hear you. Still boots on the ground.
Always. We talk about a true soldier. It's by your works.
Yes,
you
sir.
are known by your works. So we really appreciate Yahweh raising you up to have those large boots on the ground out there. And the information is invaluable that we are getting from the West Coast.
Well, and that's a key there. Yahweh Ben Yahweh said it in this message today that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I will also forget thy children. And just case in point, our people in our communities have been forgotten about. They are forgotten. The nation, this nation in itself, don't intentionally direct resources to these communities. They're forgotten about.
Yep.
There are many areas in the South that don't have the same amenities as other areas near, just a few miles next to it.
Exactly.
So it's these types of behaviors that lets you know that there is a system that's extremely flawed, but following our Father's system is perfection.
Well, it's truly designed to be that way. You know, like we have people in this day and age that don't have clean water. You know, right here up the road in Mississippi, they have a water crisis with no water. And even in Flint, Michigan, you know, so it's all over the country. But we do have another caller.
We do have a caller with your line unmuted. Welcome to Power Talk.
Praise Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Sister Zabia Bira from Holiday, Florida, renamed Holyday, Florida. This is a powerful conversation this morning. Our Father really, really broke things down for us in his class, and so much to you really do have to really think about what you want to say or how much you can glean from just a little piece of what he said. But something Brother Lude said made so much sense. He said that fear is the opposite of faith. And it reminded me of a study I did on the word fear in the past, because fear is the beginning of knowledge. And when you spell fear backwards, it's R-A-E-F, Rafe. And according to the online Urban Dictionary, Rafe says the art of being able to excel in almost everything simply by being yourself. Simply by being yourself, we can excel. And what is our self? Our self is his self. So if we take on ourself, the self, Yahweh Ben Yahweh's divine mind, then we'll be able to excel. And the song says, we're in the army of Yahweh, and here we must conform. We've got to act in accord and be in agreement with Yahweh Ben Yahweh's divine mind. So that's another definition of fear, is to be in his armed forces, except we don't need guns. No weapons shall prosper against Yahweh. All we need is his mind, just a part of his mind that he's given to each and every one of us. And we have to perfect his mind, of course, in us. And how do we do that? By taking on the knowledge of our name. Once we learn who we are, we will clearly know who he is and be able to move forward and excel in our communities. And we do need, I was sitting here today, I'm out and about, and I was just meditating on, oh my goodness, if we had 100 acres of land, how we can start our own community. And then here we're speaking of it today. So it's most enlightening. Praise Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for our class today and our platform. And I love you all much. And thank you for allowing me to share.
Praise Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for divine wisdom that he bestowed upon you, that you would speak of it this morning, because that's what time it is. And we do have another caller.
Praise Yahweh. Caller with your line unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Praise Yahweh Ben Yahweh. This is such a powerful class, and it's very important for us to understand what's going on in the world in order for us to see where we fit in. So in the world literally is at this point where they're running away from the sword. If we study and read Isaiah chapter 21, I encourage everyone to read that chapter. You will literally see step by step what's happening in the world, especially in our homeland that they call the Middle East. And it's the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and it's just happening, family. The word is truly alive. But there's something unique that's going to take place, and we need to know who we are. And I'm going to help us understand a little bit by this simple poem, short poem called Saints. What makes a saint in Yahweh? Sacred spaces maintain a holy home, blessed with the mind of Yahweh, touched righteously, building the kingdom of Yahweh, pure and heavenly, consecrated as you are in keeping the laws, peculiar and rare, standing apart from the world. Hearing Yahweh's word is innate, natural, and comfortable, safe in Yahweh's wisdom, free from all worldly and abominable. Like-minded people, the company you keep, as perfection is always unique. Love is genuine and family pure. Fear is non-existent to the immoral demure. You feel the presence of Yahweh, your king, surrounded by the nature. He is everything. Your quiet times produce everlasting. You walk away from the dastardly. A saint you are, believe what I say. Created, shaped, and formed by Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Praise Yahweh Ben Yahweh, family. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Praise Yahweh. Beautiful sharing.
I thank Yahweh for the wisdom that you shared, and we do have another caller.
Caller with your line unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
All right, caller, you maybe have your device muted, but with the number ending in 8891, you are now live on Power Talk.
Shalom, praise Yahweh. Shalom, family. Sister Edna out of Laura, Mississippi.
Welcome, Sister Edna. Praise Yahweh.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to say, any brothers and sisters looking for land, whether it's a whole or individual, Mississippi, the land is mostly free. I just wanted to remind everybody to go to your city, to your city tax building, and it should be on a board. A list of land should be on a board where you can get the land for taxes. You're not looking for the land to sell, because they give you, when you buy it for taxes, you have to keep the land for at least 3 years before you can sell it. We're not looking for nothing to sell. We're looking for the land to grow our food on and put buildings and things on. Whether it's the city, the country, or wherever, go to the city halls, to the tax area. To where you pay your taxes. Your assessor. Yeah, thank you, Lou. And another thing I want to say, and I am a witness to it, pay Yahweh his 10% and his offering. He's not waiting to chastise you later like he was. He's chastising you today. The same day you don't pay him is the same day he's chastising you. He say, don't feed yourself before you spend a penny of that money you done made. Do not feed yourself until you pay him first. He say, don't do nothing until you pay him first. I'm a witness, y'all, and I can tell you, I have been whipped, and he's not waiting until tomorrow. He's doing it today. And I would like to say thank you for allowing me to share. Praise Yahweh, ben Yahweh. And Lord, I got one more thing to say. It was another part that I will add to us paying our taxes. And that is that we, for every feast, we are to bring him $1,000. I know everybody can't pay $1,000, depending on your situation. If you don't do no but bring 20 or whatever, long as you showing forward that you trying, because you got a lady in the New Testament of the Bible, she gave all she had out of her coin purse, and she was more powerful than all those who had millions and thousands. Praise Yahweh, and thank you for allowing me to share.
Well, praise Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for giving you the wisdom to share. And that's the message that we need to hear this morning, that it's proof. You have to do what Yahweh ben Yahweh said. That's the whole duty of man, is fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. He command you to pay your tithes and bring an offering. And there's 613 law, statute, judgments, commandments. And that's just in this particular version of the King James Version. We're not even talking about all the books that was taken out and removed and all the wisdom in those. That's we trying to get 10. We're trying to understand the first 10 without understanding. We still have debates over some of the knowledge. And you can watch football on the Shabbat. Well, the Shabbat is all year long. And, we
There's just so many.
There's so many different perspectives.
But we thank Yahweh for giving us Yahweh ben Yahweh as the truth establisher, the establisher of our truth. And if we keep practicing, we keep working on being those law keepers, Yahweh is going to bring us into that space of perfection. It's about the practice thereof. And it's about, he started out about remembering. That's our duty. That is a duty, is for us to remember. That's the first element.
The first element of the law.
Remember.
Because he knew, Yahweh in his infinite wisdom, he knew that we were going to turn our backs on him, and he was going to put us in slavery again with ships, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And he knew that our worst enemy was going to strip us down, and what the scriptures say, that they would remember their name, Israel, no more. We won't come back. We would never go back home. See, that what they fighting over there in the so-called Middle East that they calling Israel, that's not our home anymore. We'd never go back there. That's old Jerusalem. Yahweh talked about New Jerusalem. Okay, that's where we're going, to New Jerusalem. We not have no interest in that old home. We make home wherever we go. We make an oasis wherever we go. But the point is that we have to understand that that's our duty, to keep Yahweh's law. And so we have to study that law day and night. And we have to do all according to all that's written in the law if we want to be prosperous. That's all. That means bring in your offerings and your donations and your tithes to the storehouse. That's part of it. Part of it is Judah is industrious, and we have businesses support each other in their business, in our businesses. Support us above fearing that wicked one who has no power over you. He truly, if you belong to Yahweh, he has no power over you. You notice you never seen a demon in your house, have you? You notice ain't no people spinning their heads around spitting up on you, are they? I mean, come on. Think about it. That's not a part of our world. That's a part of Hollywood and all those people who summon that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Our world is we're protected by that righteous tower that is the name of Yahweh, but we have to be obedient and do our duty. If we're the children of Yahweh, we have a duty to do. And Yahweh laid out the duty in this message. Praise Yahweh.
Great.
Final thoughts, Sister Tamara?
Just grateful to the most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh for bringing us back to our truth and to the knowledge of our God Yahweh, and bringing us to the understanding that we must fear Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And keep his commandments. Yahweh is the giver of life, the creator, and he's given us all that we need to sustain ourselves. And I just thank the most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh for restoring that truth to me and us as a family.
Praise Yahweh. Well said and enough said. Yahweh ben Yahweh said it today. And it was a joy to hear Yahweh ben Yahweh say it, that our duty, all we have to do is return to our duty and we'll be blessed eternally. Praise Yahweh. Well, and that's the message I want to leave you with. That brings us to the end of this episode of The Unfolding Light. Please join us next week for another episode of The Unfolding Light. And now, if everybody will stand and face the east with outstretched hand, as we close out this episode with a prayer, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuterika, Yad Zerizonka, Kim Vashemayim Kain Ba'aretz, Et Lekum Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa Sol King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh. And always remember, Yahweh loves you, Yahweh ben Yahweh loves you, and so does the nation of Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Thank you for joining The Unfolding Light, presented by the Nation of Yahweh. If you have any comments or questions, please email us at info@thenationofyhwh.com. Follow us online at thenationofyahweh.com, theunfoldinglight.com, and at yahwehbenyahweh.biz. Get social with us. Follow the Nation of Yahweh on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, do remember to pay Yahweh and yourselves first and don't touch it, as instructed by the Honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh. You can send your tithes, donations, and offerings to the Nation of Yahweh at P.O. Box 555-115, Orlando, Florida 32855. And be blessed continually, according to Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, shalom.
Stop your crying now. It's gonna be alright. Stop your lying, children. It's gonna be alright. Stop worrying. That's this wording going on. It's gonna be alright, man. Cause you see, Yahweh ben Yahweh is here now. Well, he's a man with a wonderful, wonderful life. You'll be praying all night long. and lose your home. Cause you see, I got all these children going on, and I don't want them to starve. And that's why you got to go and bow down to somebody who ain't God. A man on your job. Well, yeah. The mighty God is here now. The Son. I'm talking about the Son, Yahweh, Ben Yahweh. So you can quit all this foolishness and going on, but we living in a brand new day. Well, stop your moaning. It's gonna be alright. Stop your groaning, children. It's gonna be alright. Stop your crying. You don't have to have no more kids. But you see, Yahweh, when Yahweh came, round about on this time, it's short now years. Well, stop your begging. It's time to do your part. And quit being lazy, my children. That it's time to stop. Stop doing what you want to do. Start doing the things you're supposed to do. Get up off of your knees and be so good. Study real hard because he said you know you could. Well, be the way he wants you to be because he said he know you can. He want all the sisters to join together and be woman and all the brothers to be man. And I know that everything is gonna be alright. Well, early in the morning, it's gonna be alright. I wanna tell you that sometimes